local news, watch your local station.
Don't forget, of course, after ITN, we've got the local Thames news headlines for you. Don't forget the film as well at 9 o'clock, but now a new series of World in Action.
The worst unemployment figures in Britain since the 1930s were announced by the government 3 weeks ago. At the same time, 150 unemployed youngsters left South Wales to walk 300 miles to protest at the Conservative Party conference in Brighton. As the first of an occasional series, World in Action followed the marchers on the road to Brighton Pier. The march was organised by the far-left Socialist Workers' Party, though few of the youngsters belonged to any political group. They were angry, unemployed, and their appearance often antagonised those who saw them. One local council refused them sleeping accommodation. Its leader is Richard Stevenson.
We don't think that they're representative of the people of South Wales, nor indeed of the people who are unemployed. And frankly, if the profile of the unemployed Port Talbot steelworker is a 23-year-old wearing jeans, T-shirts and plimsolls with hair halfway down the backs, then I don't think that's correct, and I don't think we should help that sort of person.
Working in the retail trade for many years and on management level, if any one of them had approached me for work, I'd have been disinclined to take any of them on. Not just appearances, their general attitude. Maybe I'm a wee bit old-fashioned, possibly.
People who see you marching here would probably call you a punk. Yeah, right. If you're marching across Britain, trying to get support for the cause of the unemployed, aren't you sort of alienating people a bit by...
No, it's just, I'm just the same as everyone else, but I just dress different. You know, I happen to like dressing, I guess. Just the same as everyone else.
You've had this kind of feeling of aggression about the thing, which I don't think is what probably the unemployed would like to see represented for themselves, even.
I don't give a hell what people think I am. You know, think I'm a hooligan and that. You know, I've just come down here to, you know, tell them my point and that and show them what I want. I want work.
There was nothing wrong with them. They were all just a lot of youngsters like yours or mine or anybody's, you know, that marched through. They didn't cause no fuss, bother, anything. They just went through. I just thought it was all very sad, you know, that the youngsters of that age should be walking the streets to find work.
The marchers stayed in whatever accommodation they could arrange. On this occasion, the floor of a Labour Party hall. John Flagg, a member of the militant Socialist Workers' Party, explained how they were organising unemployed youngsters to protest at Brighton.
Most of them are unemployed school leavers. They've been on the dole for 3 or 4 months since they left school. Some of them have been on the dole for a year since they left school. And I think, you know, looking at the marchers, they're just the ordinary kids you find on any dole queue, on any housing estate, in any of the areas where unemployment is really high. As far as getting people on the march was concerned, most of the work was done through leafleting dole offices, chatting to the kids down there. We had a couple of discos. The physical conditions have been hard. If you're sleeping on cold, hard floors for 3 weeks, you know it by the end of it. There's no two ways about that. The feet is, I think there's a lot of little heroes on this march. You often see blood on the bandages, and you see people really limping as they come in. But those people are on the road again the next day.
The marchers slept in one hall, which would have been crowded with half the number. Outside, a breakfast of boiled eggs and tea.
Do you want me to do you some soldiers?
Hey? Where do you sleep last night?
Oh, in the kitchen in there, and it's about that wide, about that long. There were 10 of us in it. Oh, action! Come on, get this bucket!
Even the Guardian calls it a revolution.
We've got a picture in the Sun. We've got a big picture in the Sun, mentioned in the Mirror, front page of the Telegraph, and back page of the Guardian.
Look
at them skinhead bloody yobs. Anyway, if that's what they feel that they got to do, well, that's up to them.
Nick, 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 Nick. Nick, 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 Nick. Come on, 10 seconds. London. Can you all get in twos, please?
If you think about it, being stuck, being isolated, being on your Todd all the time, you know, what you do with, you know, you might go out with your dough money on a Friday night, see a few people. That's as much as your dough money will last Friday. It won't go as far as Saturday. And you're in for the rest of the time unless you go down until you go down and sign on. And like, that's what it's all about really, is saying to people who do feel like they're all on their own and they're all isolated on the dole, that, you know, we can fight back. And if you talk to any of the marchers, they'll say that, you know, they'll say that's what it is all about.
Where are you from, Chris?
I'm from Leeds.
Are you unemployed?
Yes.
How long for?
Since the 16th of June this year.
What happened?
I was made redundant from a restaurant in Leeds. I was working there for about just over 2 years. And shortly before I was to become qualified, it made me redundant.
What sort of qualification?
City and Guilds.
What, you mean you were going to get it and then
Yes.
you got made redundant?
About 6 months before. And I was just day release at college. You know, Thursdays, went every day to college, never missed a day. And all of a sudden he sits me down and says, bye-bye, I don't need you no more.
What's it like in Liverpool for the kids then?
Oh, it's terrible. I mean, all it is all day long is people on benches, you know, walking around the streets. And, you know...
Young people?
Yeah, young people. And, you know, middle-aged, you know, anything. It's bad in all classes in Liverpool.
Well, I was unemployed for about a year, and then I got a job for 6 weeks. And then I've been unemployed for about another 18 months.
What sort of job are you looking for?
Any job, really, as long as it pays money. You know, you're just looking for anything now, aren't you?
Are you?
Yeah. Just look for anything that comes.
All the steel factories closing down and all that, redundancies. My father's been made redundant himself.
Just recently?
Yeah. About 4 months ago.
What sort of job are you looking for?
Well, anything now. I got so desperate.
The march made a detour to canvass the doomed MG car factory at Abingdon, Oxfordshire. The factory is to close next week, throwing 900 men out of work, and workers are bitter about British Leyland's decision to shut it down.
Very much. Thanks a lot. Come down and upset with the tent and we'll kill us together.
The visit is part of a plan to win support at factories threatened with redundancies.
But, you know, it's particularly tragic that we pass places like yours en route, and really we're looking at people like yourselves who, you know, facing exactly the same situation as we face. And, you know, you look around and see all this.
After the march had left, a delegation stayed behind to talk to workers.
I applied for a job and there was 100 more besides me, so what chance have I got between 100 more? I only wanted one chap, but you ain't got a dog's chance, have you?
We believe it's been they're really set out about 5 or 6 years ago to really put MGs out of business, you know. Their policy 5 years ago was they put all their eggs in one basket on a particular model, which is a triumph, you know, and they felt that at the end of the day that the MG would just suddenly fade away. But the public reaction and the support that we've got from the public, plus our own particular fight, you know, have proved them wrong. But of course, still, with the government we've got in power, not listening to anybody but themselves, you know, we just haven't been able to make any impression on them. We're going to lose part of the heritage, part of the car. 1,000 skilled people that have built cars traditionally, you know, for 50 years or more, has gone because of the wrong policies, and they've got a government that's not doing anything about it, you know, and we're just one of many, and there'll be many more unless the government make a change of the policies. And this is why I hope your march will be, you know, I hope it'll be, you know, there should be at least 2 million people down there, if not more, to support you in what you're trying to do.
Yeah, well, it's the same position in South Wales. There's not a day passing without a factory being closed down in South Wales. As far as the coalfield is concerned, there's 10 pits under immediate threat at present now this year. And we got no intention of accepting that we're going to go back to the depression days we had in the 1930s.
We came here to spend the rest of our working lives here, and now suddenly out of the blue, we've been thrown out to the wide, wide world, and God knows where we're going to go from here, because we're car specialists. And I think, as you're saying, Jack, the car industry is just going to be dead if we're going like this, isn't it?
Because I'm on the dole, all I can do is sort of sit around at home, go through the newspaper to see if there's any vacancies, and then just watch the television, watch Play School, maybe go out on my bike. And so I'm sort of very isolated.
I've left school for 3 years, and out of that 3 years, I've been unemployed for at least 2.5 years.
What sort of job are you trying to get?
Oh, anything will do, you know, anything at all.
Everybody on this march has tried to get a job. I mean, they obviously care enough to come on this march. I mean, it's no fun walking 300 miles. I mean, if you care enough to go on a march, you've obviously looked for a job before you go on it.
Do you really look? I mean, some people would say that it's easy to get a job if you try hard enough. Are you trying?
You go down to job centre in Leeds. They got that sick of me coming down there. They give me a card saying, come after you sign on once a week only. I was down there every day for hours.
I left school and I went to look for a job. We went down to the career centre, you know, and they just didn't have anything at all to offer us. They just gave us the forms to sign on.
Being unemployed, you're treated quite differently by the person who's actually interviewing you for the job. And they do have this sort of feel that you're kind of, you know, a no-good, lazy bum who, if you happen to have been fired or even laid off, you know, it was your fault.
Society can ignore a certain amount of sort of scrap, but once it gets to these proportions, then things have really got to start to move, I think.
Next stop was Eton Public School, where unemployed marchers hope to meet other youngsters who'll soon be looking for a job.
Don't talk to me about public school. Don't like it. I don't think public schools should be allowed in this country. I think everybody has a right to the same education.
It's just a fact that they've gone to Eton. I mean, it's the name that will get them the job more than anything.
Well, their chances are much higher because they've, you know, got the money behind them, haven't they, in the shape of their parents. And you just mentioned you've been to Eton, you know, and that's it. Like, you know, you're straight into virtually any job you like, you know, public schoolboy and all that.
The marchers demonstrated in the courtyards, but the marchers and the Eton boys were to be kept firmly apart.
Come on! Speed it up!
There's a lot of good spirits on the march. I mean, they're young, they're boisterous. It's something new to them, you know. Loads of lads and girls, you know, getting on the road. It's something that, you know, they would probably never have dreamed of doing up until sort of a short time ago.
Can I ask you what you thought about the demonstration? Did you know what it was about?
No, I don't know.
Why don't you know what it's about?
We're not allowed to talk.
We don't know anyway.
What was their point? You tell us.
Why didn't you answer?
Well, because we weren't allowed to, were we?
Well, I'm sorry?
We weren't allowed to, were we?
You weren't allowed to what?
To ask them. Why we're all confined to our homes. Anyway, we've got to go. Bye-bye.
Excuse me, lads. We're from another television. May I have a word with you? Did you see the demonstration? Did you talk to the lads? Can I just ask you what you thought of that demonstration?
No, you can't.
Can I ask you, none of the boys seemed to be out when the demonstration was passing. Why was that? Is it class time at the moment or something?
Tea time, much more important.
One or two of the boys were saying that they weren't allowed to come out and talk to the demonstrators. Is that true? If it is true, why do you think the school decided not to let the boys talk to the demonstrators?
I've no idea.
The boys are roughly the same age. You don't think there'd be any value in letting your boys talk to the marchers?
I've no idea, I'm afraid.
Think about what happened in Eton. It wasn't that much more than probably what happens on a normal prank which some of the Eton kids get up to in the last term of school. So I don't think it was that devastating. I mean, there's a lot of shouting, there's a few people climbed up a wall, but it was nothing nothing more than that.
Back at Eton, the police seem to me to be pretty cool and defuse the situation.
I think the police, you know, as we're coming through the country, did this quite a good job in a lot of ways. They controlled the traffic, which is something we need. I mean, most of the way through the countryside and through some of the towns, actually, through Wales and England, we had 2 policemen on push bikes. I mean, it worked perfectly well. We had no trouble at all.
It's all right if the weather's not too bad, isn't it?
It's like this, it's okay.
Yeah.
This friendly relationship broke down when the marchers entered the Metropolitan Police area. Police numbers increased, and before long they outnumbered marchers.
Hold it! Stop! In toes, keep it tight, no noise! I want the Chief Inspector, whoever's in charge. Keep moving, Ian, keep moving.
I want the Chief Inspector. I want the Chief Inspector here now. Right, yes. Right, so that's a little word with you.
Okay, can you keep them on moving?
No. Yes. I consider this
Jim.
presence, right, to be completely intimidatory. There's absolutely no need for it. In all the towns we've gone through so far, are you going to listen to me or not?
I'm going to listen.
Right,
well,
okay.
Who's the chief? Who said he was?
Which one?
Yeah, we're in charge here.
Yes,
now,
right.
what we're saying, we want to move along now, okay?
No, not until we reduce these numbers. We're just not going to move until they reduce the numbers. This is ridiculous. It's really
absolutely
provocative.
crazy.
These people are unemployed and they've got no liking for the police anyway. All you're going to do is
Can we
cause
have
trouble.
a word over here?
No,
yes.
I stay
Oh,
here.
okay, move on then.
No.
You've been told that we will escort you through the town.
This is an escorting. This is provoking.
No, we're not provoking anything.
Why do you need these number of police?
If you consider that there is a provocation, then you just go calmly through, and we will go calmly through, and there will be no trouble at all.
No, this is ridiculous.
We are escorting you through the town.
This is definitely intimidating.
Walk down the road, it looks like a column of police walking down the road. No one can see the march. Now, we're civilly asking you to reduce your numbers.
The road is perfectly clear.
Ready? Yeah, all right, let's go. Get in the middle of the road. What we're saying is that we're going to carry on to the Sikh temple because we're going to have our dinner there and we can't afford to be too late for dinner. And there's people waiting there for us and we don't want to upset them.
The marchers had their midday meal in a Sikh temple.
We are giving you these handkerchiefs to cover your heads because when we go in the presence of our elders or when we have our dinners, we always cover our heads. It's a mark of respect and it's a tradition. And moreover, it's more hygienic to cover your hairs and cover yourself when you're having your dinner. So
Although the demonstration had been shunned by some councils in areas of low unemployment, in Southall, the Asian community gave the marchers their warmest welcome since South Wales. There had been no trouble since the start of the march, but after leaving the temple, the marchers found that the police presence had been increased again, and within an hour, the flare-up they'd feared occurred. 8 people were arrested. In Brixton, too, centre of London's West Indian community, people were friendly.
They want to work, they don't want to be on the dole. And it's right that the government should make jobs for them instead of cutting down all the firms which they have done recently. They're showing their point of view, aren't they?
And now you gotta get it! And kick the Tories out! Hey, what do you want? Hey, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want?
No, I don't think anything wrong with them. No, I think they're quite all right.
And they're coming away from Wales.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Do you agree with them?
Well, I think it just shows you the state of this country nowadays.
What do you want? And now you gotta get it! I'm gonna kick the Tories out!
The march reached Brighton on Thursday. That evening, protesters and ministers alike took some time off.
We're not going down there thinking that we're going to go down there and get rid of the government. I think what we're doing is we're drawing attention to what the Tories' economic policies are doing by going down to their doorstep, if you like.
On Friday morning, a carefully planned police operation to contain the marchers got underway. It involved men from several forces and cost £250,000. We spoke to Conservative cabinet ministers about the demonstration.
This demonstration is very largely the result of the extreme left wing, chiefly the Socialist Workers' Party of Great Britain, and is in no way representative of the true feelings of the unemployed.
The workers, united, will never be defeated!
My immense sympathies with the police, who had to turn out in enormous numbers to control what is a demonstration. Obviously, in a democracy, demonstrations are legitimate, but my immense sympathy is with the police.
Have you any sympathy for the demonstrators?
Yes, of course I have. I have great sympathy with anyone who is out of work. I believe it's a fundamental human right to have a job. They must get through this period of economic difficulty in order that they should have secure jobs in the future.
Opinion polls announced during the week had identified unemployment as the major anxiety of Britain's voters. Mrs. Thatcher's conference speech set out to quell some of these anxieties, but she insisted that the government wouldn't change course.
If I could press a button and genuinely solve the unemployment problem, do you think that I would not press that button this instant? Does anyone imagine that there is the smallest political gain in letting this level of unemployment continue? Or that there is some obscure economic religion which demands this level of unemployment as part of its grisly ritual? Mr. Chairman, this government is pursuing the only policy which gives any hope of bringing our people back to real and lasting employment.
The speech was interrupted by right-to-work marchers who penetrated the conference hall.
Nevertheless, never mind, it's wet outside. I expect they wanted to come in.
And Mrs. Thatcher, when she was speaking to the faithful this afternoon, had a couple of right-to-work marchers who told her exactly what they...
The interruption was announced at an alternative rally of demonstrators. But behind the conference speeches and the disruptions lay a more ominous warning from an unexpected quarter. Before the conference began, the Confederation of British Industry, representing employers, warned Mrs. Thatcher that what they called the grim cycle of militancy, bred in the 1930s, could take over the younger generation again, unless the rise in unemployment was stemmed. As the conference and the right-to-work marchers dispersed, we put the CBI's points to Industry Secretary Sir Keith Joseph.
You must ask the president of the CBI why he said that. It seems to me that the evidence so far is that awareness of the importance of becoming competitive is in many workplaces restraining militancy.